is it about a city that one remembers most? The wind, the view, the air quality, the colors, the smell, the streets, the people, the food, or the spiritual connection? I have to admit that I had no intention of looking for the overtones. Instead, I thought I would choose to think about political justice, freedom, or something else more relevant. In music, sound theory, and acoustics, the overtone is a tone part of the harmonic series consequential to the excitation of air molecules. Once a system is vibrating at its natural frequency, it is subjected to external vibrations derived from its fundamental frequency. Basically, what humans hear from the sound of a string on a guitar is the sum of the fundamental and its overtones. And so, the total overtonal content of a guitar string's sound carries along additional information to which we react unconsciously, like the material, the environment, the pressure applied to the fretboard, or even that crack on the front that has been there since the guitar was dropped 20 years ago. Humans assemble sequences of notes internally into small chords to compare them unconsciously and forming a critical impression. Things like ethnicity, age, and cultural background skew how we perceive sound. Just like any other sequence of notes, the relationship between the overtones and the fundamental is also rated consonant or dissonant. I'm not sure if this is true for other species, but humans can hear the fundamental even when the fundamental is not there. The brain processes the information present in the overtones to calculate a fundamental frequency. Similar to what happens in music through film, and I argue, the brain processes images and calculates a fundamental print from patterns presented in visual form. Sergei Eisenstein described the similarity between optics and acoustics, and I quote, "We find the same thing in optics as well. All sorts of aberrations, distortions, and other defects which can be remedied by systems of lenses can also be taken into account compositionally. In combinations which exploit these collateral vibrations, we can achieve, completely analogous with music, the visual overtonal complex of the shot." The showing of a white square after a few seconds will generate in the average person an internal dialogue. How long can a person sit there and watch something not fully understood without a thought going through the mind? Eventually, the person may decide to stop watching and leave, taking along an impression. This impression carries along everything that made it possible and to which we react unconsciously. Everything visual or not, consonant or not, plays a role in the final impression. The size of the square, its texture, its location, amongst other characteristics, change our expectation. And so, if the viewer expectation changes, so does the impression. Do you agree that the expectation generated by a white square on a movie screen will be different to the one painted on the wall of a commuter train? I believe that the overtones in film are the summation of characteristics of a stimulus and its environment, which affect how we perceive or interpret the information received. Peter Shedal wrote about Black Square, a famous art painting by Kazimir Malevich, this: "The forms are weightless, more like thoughts than like images. You don't look at the picture so much as launch yourself into its trackless empyrean." What would you say if I told you silence and complete darkness also have overtones? The sex appeal of a beautiful American heroine star is attended by many stimuli: of texture from the material of her gown, of light from the balanced and emphatic lighting of her figure, of racial, national, of social class, etc. In a word, the central stimulus is attended always by a whole complex of secondary stimuli, the overtones.